Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kamaljit Singh. I'm a registered migration agent with Aussizz Group. And while we are getting through into this COVID pandemic, and while we are struggling to find sort of internships or looking for jobs, today we'll be majorly focusing on professional year program itself. Aussizz Group we have got Mr. James, who's got his expertise in professional year program. We'll be discussing further internship programs in a regional area, totally focusing on Gold Coast, Wollongong, and Geelong. So, guys, if you are one of those candidates who have recently completed their studies when it comes to IT sector, engineering sector, or accounting sector, this video session is going to be very informative for you. Stay tuned. We'll be further focusing on talking about professional year program, how the program is going to work, how it's going to be beneficial for us, and how this internship sort of thing is going to be helpful for the candidates. Before we proceed further, in regards to, I would like to again introduce myself. I'm a registered migration agent currently working with Aussizz Group. What is professional year program is basically a program which is designed for a candidate so that he can further look for a migration purpose pathway. We are today focusing on the preference of if we can do those kind of internship programs in regional. Why we are focusing on regional area nowadays, as you have already seen, that the Department of Immigration has, the Department of Home Affairs, I should say that, is totally focusing on the candidates who are living in regional, working in regional. They want to promote the remote areas. They want the candidates to go and look for the jobs there. When we are talking about areas like Gold Coast, Wollongong, or Geelong by itself, if you are living in Victoria, we have seen, guys, that there are so many candidates who are not able to secure a job when it comes to IT sector, accounting sector, or engineering sector. Internship program is basically focused on those side of skill select so that a candidate is given a practical sort of experience so that he can further be able to secure a job if he's that type of candidate. When it comes to popular occupations, which are related to state lists, we are focusing today on IT sector, engineering, and accounting. Looking at IT and engineering, we have seen in past couple of months that Victoria itself have invited a lot of candidates in IT sector, given that on high points, which tells the candidate to achieve the high points. Professionally, a program might be one of those necessity which he or she needs to be filled out to obtain the skill assessment and gather extra 5 points. Again, professional year program, guys, we have seen in past, couple of years has been beneficial to a lot of candidates in securing a job in their particular industry. And we have seen that they have been given those kind of exposures to see the practical sort of world of the industry itself. Not talking much, we'll be focusing further and getting more information in regards to professional year program from one of the expert. Mr. James, I'll probably welcome you on the show. This session is more about PY. Mr. James, on towards you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kamalji. Really appreciate that. So yeah, I'm the head of internships at Performance Education. So I lead the placements and the corporate partnerships team who successfully prepare and place all of our students into internships. I personally have a background in sales and marketing and have been with the business for almost 5 years. At the beginning of my career, I actually completed 2 internships in the UK and in China. So I've got a really good understanding of the career development opportunities that this can offer. And I suppose the way in which you can use that to actually gain experience, obviously for getting employment in your chosen sector. For me, I suppose in terms of the regional areas, we deliver the professional year course from our campuses in Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide and Brisbane. While we have a really extensive network there, that's actually now expanded into some of the regional areas. For us, that includes the Gold Coast, Wollongong and Geelong. Placements in these areas really depends on the location, obviously being able to commute, the skill sets of the students, matching up to the internship opportunities that we have, and also the timing as well for the host companies, what exciting projects do they have, and what type of work do they have coming up, and where can they actually, involve a young graduate in either accounting or IT to actually develop that experience there. But it's a really exciting space for us as we're looking to kind of grow that and grow all those three areas in the future.
James, thanks for that. It's pretty informative. I've never seen a sort of a program which has set up in regards to when we are talking internship program being set up in the regional areas itself. Which is a very sort of a positive sort of news for the candidates, because when it comes to looking for jobs or securing the internship placements in regional, you have given us Geelong, we have given us Wollongong, you've been given us Gold Coast as well in regards to internship program. How do you probably see in coming few years or so how this internship program in regional it's going to benefit the regional sort of community itself when it comes to IT or engineering sector?
Yeah, I think we can definitely see that it's growing. We've seen the impact of that already, and I think Gold Coast is definitely kind of a shining example. I think is you've seen that kind of spread out from being quite a Brisbane-centric approach to Queensland. But we're seeing a lot of companies there, and obviously with new companies and entities moving into the area, that has a knock-on effect to things such as accounting and IT services that are being provided to a higher volume of businesses. And with the growth, then obviously comes opportunities for businesses to actually engage with young graduates for internships.
No worries, James. James, just another question. It's sometimes very confusing for the candidates when it comes to internship program. Normally as a registered migration agent, we have seen they have been asking us the questions like, is the internship part of that program, or is that the candidate has to look for the offer by himself? So how does it probably works?
Yeah, so students coming through the program have the chance to find their own internships. So whether that's a paid job that they already have or are looking to undertake, or whether they can find an unpaid internship for themselves. But if they can't do that, then that is where performance education steps into. Placement consultants and corporate partnerships executives that really support that entire process end to end to ensure that every student coming through the program has an internship that matches up with their skill sets, that can actually start the course and stay on time.
Yeah, that's right. James, as guys, we've listened from James, performance education is not a name. No, everybody knows the name, very reputed sort of, name in the industry. James, moving forward, when we are looking for the program, candidates are getting confused for other situation. What sort of qualifications are we looking into when we are checking the eligibility of a person, that if he or she wants to enroll in the program? Do you require any sort of qualification, or do you require any sort of minimum sort of qualification done by the candidate?
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of the professional year program and obviously potentially receiving points towards skill migration, there are 4 things that you must have. The first is that you must have completed a recognised accounting or IT degree in Australia that provides a minimum of 2 years credit points. Now this must be completed over a minimum of 18 months for that. The second thing is that they must have obtained or applied for a graduate temporary visa with a minimum of 12 months validity on that. The third thing that they would need is a current IELTS score of 6 overall, with not less than 6 in each of the skill categories for accounting, and the same for IT, or for an equivalent test result. Obviously, there are a number that are available other than IELTS. And the last thing for accounting is that they must have a migration skills assessments outcome letter in order to be able to apply. But if they have all of those things, then yes, it's a suitable opportunity and something that they can explore.
Oh, thanks for that, James. Looking into, you mentioned, James, for the IELTS, English score. Apparently, we have seen, the states getting into lockdown. Candidates are not able to, undergo their English examinations. Do we have any sort of waiver, or performance education is providing any kind of a window or something to submit that kind of score?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely been challenging sort of during these periods as the test centres obviously have had to be closed for that sort of face-to-face testing. Allowances have been made by the governing bodies at certain points of the year. And I would really just recommend, again, just speaking to a migration agent to really understand what the current situation is, how they can best be facilitated to get those scores as soon as possible, especially if that's the one thing that's holding them back. There's often things that we can do that are available to them to actually sort of speed up that process.
That's right, James. James has mentioned, when it comes to internship sort of program, candidates struggle to find or secure sort of that internship program. Performance education itself is one of the name in the market, which has always helped students in sort of fulfilling that requirement to complete their professional year program. Another sort of positive news we have seen today itself is that performance education is giving candidates chances to do their internship program basically in regional. Further talking, as we have seen already, when it comes to New South Wales, when it comes to Victoria, or whether it comes to Brisbane, as the states have been not in the regional sort of postcodes. Performance education is giving us an opportunity to complete our internship in regional, so that in coming future, that kind of occupations may be secured as well when it comes to looking for a job. James, moving forward, we have heard, in fact, a lot of candidates get this sort of, an opportunity to get the exposure to a practical sort of workplace. Do you believe there are any chances for them for looking or getting or securing, I must say, securing a job after their internship as well?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the 12-week internship, which is a part of the professional year course, that's a great opportunity for them to develop skills and gain business experience, to then add to their resume when they're going out there for job applications and interviews. It's also a great way, though, to actually build up a network of professionals in their chosen industry. So whether that's accounting or IT, people they know then, that can be references for them, people that connect them with a CFO, a CEO, or someone in another business that might be hiring as well. So the first thing is, I think that they've built up that experience and that connections. In terms of the internship and where that can lead, yes, I mean, absolutely. A number of the companies that we work with and have partnered with over the years, actually looking to engage with students as graduate talent that's sort of coming through with a view to hiring in the future. Now, sometimes employment is offered during the internship, which is obviously a great outcome. In other cases, it'll actually be a few months after they've finished. And about sort of 1 in 3 of our students coming through the program actually get some sort of employment, whether that's a short-term contract for, say, maybe 3 months, or actually offered a permanent role as well. Future employment is not a requirement for the host company. So I think that's really important to sort of state that as well. Some businesses are only able to kind of offer an internship for the experience. But I think it's certainly a massive added bonus when it can transition from the experience and the internship into actual employment.
That's right, James. Moving forward, James, just out of curiosity, for example, if a candidate is doing, professionally a program with the performance in New South Wales, we can say Metro, but he has got a sort of intention that in future he wants to do his internship in regional, because is it possible for him or her to do internship itself in regional if she or he's studying in Metro itself, starting the theoretical sort of section?
Yeah, I mean, for us, the campuses are based out of the metro areas. And obviously we do have the opportunity to offer internships there. I think a lot of this is about timing and also about the students, the individuals themselves. It depends on what opportunities are available at the time. For us, we want to be able to offer the widest, I think, range of internships and locations as possible to give them the chance to obviously learn and develop in an area that's both interesting and useful for them for their future careers. So for us, it's really about the growth into those areas to give them those opportunities.
Yeah, that's right, James. So it is probably, a very sort of, we can say, a happy news in this tough time that performance education has provided us the opportunity to do the internships, especially in the regional remote areas, which will not only give exposure to the candidates about the local community. Alongside, we have seen, James, that in past couple of months, New South Wales and Victoria have been very sort of, active in regards to inviting candidates who are working in regional a remote area in their nominated occupations. Alongside, as James, you've mentioned, that performance education giving the opportunity to candidate to get sort of that work experience and further may be able to secure a job, if the candidate is that kind of candidate who is able to impress the host company. It's a pretty I would probably say that it's once in a lifetime opportunity, because you are on that type of visa, where you are into the PY program and then you are into internship and doing in regional itself. It's pretty beneficial, and it's going to be very, we can say, useful for the candidates, especially the candidates who will be in Victoria or who are going to be in New South Wales or Brisbane. Apart from that, James, we have seen sometimes due to uncertain reasons, candidates are not able to complete their PY program. Do you believe that that thing can get any sort of a waiver, for example, if they're absent for 1 month or so, or they have to start the program from the start again?
In terms of the internship and COVID, there have been made allowances to ensure that obviously the impact hasn't been felt by the students because of obviously the external things happening, with businesses. So yeah, there have been allowances made, and we've been able to work through that very closely with both the businesses that we're partnered with, but also with the students themselves to actually figure out the best sort of course of action, so they can still complete the requirements of the course, but perhaps in a more disjointed way through no fault of their own.
All right. So that's pretty great. Looking at the situation, James, it's pretty, happy thing that performance education has moved one step forward and given the opportunity to candidates to probably secure the internship in regional, which can further, help them to find a job or even a pathway to permanent residency when it comes to looking for a job in regional remote areas. Are we going to get any other news from a performance in coming time period, James, apart from Geelong, Wollongong, or Gold Coast? Any other regional areas we're going to be targeting in future?
I think for now we're looking to grow those areas first, and let's be clear. Obviously, they're sort of starting small because of the volume of businesses and the populations there. That it's not a comparable size to that of Sydney or Melbourne. So for us, it's about making sure that we can start with a number there and really sort of build that out with quality internships, but also quite a wide range of internships as well in accounting for the different fields there, but also for IT. Between, say, web development, business analysis, and the likes of sort of networking and more sort of traditional help getting out from. It is competitive. It's really important to kind of say that in the sort of areas with smaller populations. But for us, that's, I suppose, a target, and an aim for us over the sort of coming year really is to look at that and how we can support more students in the internships there.
That's right, James. All right, James, it's been pretty, we have seen in the last so many years, performance education has been, I'll probably say, one of the best when it comes to IT and accounting professional year program. I would personally say, when it comes to IT sector, we have itself seen candidates, giving those type of 5-star, we can say, practical knowledge, or we can say theoretical knowledge, or when it comes to management sort of skills, when a candidate is choosing to do a professional year program, with the performance education. Alongside, given the opportunity that the candidates are getting to get the exposures from regional sort of, we can say, sectors, considering it's a pretty good news for Victorian candidates that they might be able to secure an internship in regional Geelong. We have seen that Geelong has been, growing in coming past so many years, and which has again given us the opportunity. James, as we have seen, performance has given a lot of, opportunities to the right candidates. We have always seen that candidates, want to join performance. Sometimes seats are not available. What do you think in coming future? Are there going to be enough seats for the candidates when it comes to securing an internship in regional?
Yeah, well, I think for us, we have a really strong base of host companies in the campuses that we're working out of now. So Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, and Brisbane. There are a large amount of companies there that really covers a wide range of industries as well, sort of everything from retail, hospitality, transport, social care, telecoms, and of course, specifically the IT and accounting sectors themselves. Within that, I mean, those companies range from sort of small to medium-sized businesses right the way through to multinational corporations. You know, some of the well-known brands, such as, you know, say Fuji Xerox or Hilton Hotels. But for us, I suppose it's about replicating that, you know, in the regional areas. I think at the moment we've seen that impacted through the hotel industry in particular, IT services, which are obviously supporting the local communities there, and also not-for-profit organisations as well, which is a really great environment for a young graduate to be going into, because of the nature and how they're supported for, you know, what is potentially their first ever role, you know, working within an office.
All right, James, you know, I must probably say, you know, with all this professional, you know, performance education has been pretty you know, spot on when it comes to doing business with you. We are probably hardly thankful to you, giving alongside. I should also say that we are thankful on the basis on behalf of all those new graduates who have been given the opportunity to be part of this program. We should thank to performance education for giving us these services. Now we should be thankful again, maybe in future, when we have come up with this regional you know, sector performance has started targeting. So guys, if you are a recent graduate, or you are going to be a recent graduate in coming couple of months and are looking forward for a permanent residency pathway, or are looking forward to obtain that extra 5 points for your professional year alongside with your skill assessment, either it's in IT or accounting sector, you can contact Aussizz. James has given us a pretty detailed information how the performance education has worked in past and what are their sort of scale when it comes to obtaining the sort of IT or accounting companies or host companies, we can say. In coming future, James, we do hope that we're going to be doing more businesses in regards to broadening the sector into regional areas so that it can help the you know, right candidate and they can know more about the community and the industry itself. Anything else you want to mention before we leave, James?
Well, thank you for having me, Kamalji. Really appreciate taking the time to sit down and go through this. For me, yeah, I think it's just about, you know, that commitment from our perspective, making sure that all the students coming through the program have a really great opportunity, you know, when it comes to the stage of actually going into an internship. That's my role. It's what I've been very happy and successful in doing. And again, you know, working with a really great team behind that, making sure that the future students have another great crop of internships as well.
Yes, thanks for being the part of this session, James. And before I leave, James, we have just got a couple of questions to answer. They're asking what is the validity of professional year program. Musa is saying, I'll probably answer the question. Musa, the validity of professional year 4 years. And now normally that question has been asked, you know, so many times, whether it's completion or starting. I'll probably say from the start, it has to be the start and you complete the course within 12 months. It's a very strict sort of time period the institute follows. Do not try to play around when you are part of that PY program. Do the program properly, get those kind of opportunities and secure your future. Any idea for Queensland opening in October? As James has already mentioned, that performance is all set to go in Gold Coast. If you are living in Queensland, fellows, and looking further to secure an internship, I'll probably say, you know, performance education focusing on IT and accounting sector is one of the best. So yeah, maybe we are expecting it to open in October, and hopefully, you know, we might be hearing good news and invitations coming from Queensland. So that was all from us today, guys. Thanks, James. Thanks for being the part of this session and giving us information in regards to the professional year program. And we do hope in coming future, performance education is going to provide us more opportunities in more regional areas and giving the candidates the opportunity to be part of this IT and accounting professional year program for PR pathway as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.